guys? Scotty2Hockey here, aka the average hockey fan, and revenge is a dish best served cold on ice with 45 shots and a 4-2 win over Tampa Bay Lightning, the best team in the league, and the Habs absolutely dominated them. I'm not going to say they had all the great players. They didn't have Victor Hedman tonight. They didn't have Dan Girardi. They had your backup goalie in who played absolutely stellar. I don't think Vasilevsky would have played any better than what Pasquale played tonight. Yes, he had a very shaky first period. He was kind of lucky to get out of it with the score what it was, but for a backup man, that guy had me worried the whole night. He made some 5-star saves on Habs tonight. He even made one with his face. Whether or not he meant to make it, he made it. So it was a good night all around. The one-man army showed up. Drouin played well, even though it didn't come up on the board. Kotkaniemi kind of got banged around a bit on that fourth line tonight. Nate Thompson looked great. The one thing that stood out to me the most was the Armia goal. I absolutely loved it. Domi with the nail in the coffin with that breakaway goal at the end. Huge game for the Habs. Price wasn't shaky. He was more so unlucky on the first 2 goals he let in. It looked like it might have been a letdown game going 2-2 into the third period because we all know how great Tampa is in the third period. They have 105 third period goals. They're first in the league in third period goals. So that really had me worried coming into a tie game where the Habs, I thought the Habs gave it everything they had those first 2 periods and they might come out tired in the third period. Couldn't have been more of the opposite. The Habs came out on fire, playing like it was the most important third period of their life, and they absolutely dominated it. Great third period for the Habs. Yes, Tampa made a push at the end, but as far as what I've seen, Montreal was all over them. As for the shots for Montreal, they were 45. The hits were 37. The face-off percentage was 61.4%. The power play, unfortunately, was 0 for 2. The first one looked pretty good. The second one, not so much. The penalty kill, they didn't do nothing on the penalty kill. There were 0 penalties. There was a penalty for Tampa at the end of the game, but it was negated by Montreal getting another penalty, double minor. So both teams had a minor. As for Price, he had a non-10 save percentage, 22 of 24, so a solid game for Price. Not a great game, but a solid game, and he was great at the end when he had to be. He made some nice saves there at the end for sure. Tampa Bay, they only had 24 shots on net tonight. They looked like a tired team tonight. They looked like a team that did not give their best effort by any means. Their hits were 44. They were physical. I'd say Kotkaniemi took 6 or 7 of those hits because I've seen that kid get dropped a few times tonight. Paquette hit him with a big hit. Strowman hit him with a big hit. Couple Tampa players hit that guy with a big hit. He'll grow. He'll get stronger. He'll get his revenge for sure. Face-off percentage for Tampa, 38.6. Power play, obviously 0 for 0 because they didn't have any power plays except for they had a guy draw a penalty, but he got a penalty too, so they didn't have any power plays. Their penalty kill, 2 for 2, obviously. And Paquette also had a non-10 save percentage, but he had to work a lot harder for it. This is 2 games in a row where Carey Price had the exact same save percentage as the other goalie, but the other goalie faced over 20 more shots. That's crazy. So it shows how good Montreal is playing. It's not Price standing on his head by no means in these last few games, but he has been solid. And he stopped 41 of 45. Pasquale did, Pasquale. First period of the game, Stamkos gets an unassisted goal off Domi's skate. It was Stamkos pretty much shot it, trying to get it across Kucherov. Domi tried to kick it away and deflect it. He obviously didn't mean to do it, but he pretty much soccer kicked it past Price. Price had no chance on that. He didn't see it coming. None of us seen it coming. I was shocked when it went in. After that, Nate Thompson gets his first as a Hab. Beautiful play, assisted by Byron and Ben in front of the net, a wrist shot. The second period, Paquette gets the first goal off I didn't really see like how it broke down. It was kind of a broken play in front of the net off a rebound. I think Ernie might have shot it in on net. Paquette got the rebound. He gets it past Price. Price was down and out, and that was assisted by Ernie and Cernak at 4:18 of the second period. And the first 2 goals, the first one by Stamkos was 2:28. The second one by Thompson was 12:23, just to sure up those times. And 7:32 of the second period, Yoel Armia gets one of my favorite goals of the year. Next to the Kotkaniemi toe drag, it's my favorite goal of the year. Yoel Armia comes in, he gets a pass from, I believe it was Tatar. He shoots it in, he gets his own rebound. He tries to bang it again, he gets the rebound off that. He comes over to the side of the net. He's off a weird angle. He's pretty much behind the net onto the side of the net. He shoots it off Pascale's mask while he's turned around. Pascale is facing the net, literally facing the mesh. Armia shoots it from the side of the net, bangs it right off his mask and into the net. What an opportunistic goal. And talk about not giving up on a play. That's a guy who wants to be in the playoffs. Back-to-back games for Armia with a goal, and his career-high NHL 13th goal. He hasn't been around for a long time, so I have a feeling this guy will score 20 eventually in his career. Beautiful goal by Armia. I had that written there with big old exclamation marks, assisted by Tatar and Dano at 7:32 of the second period. My voice is a little bit hoarse. I was getting really into this game, guys. Third period, 7:47. Lehkonen with a huge goal, which was reviewed because he banged it out. He hit the goalie's glove, but he hit the puck first, and then he got a stick on the puck. And it was reviewed for a high stick, and it was reviewed for a goaltender interference. The refs reviewed it for a high stick. Then they went to the bench to tell Cooper it wasn't a high stick, and he challenged for a goaltender interference. 7:47 in the first period. Lehkonen scores off Mete and Shaw. 10:08. Domi puts the nail in the coffin. Beautiful play from Ben to get it up to Lehkonen. Lehkonen gets it up to Domi on a wide open break, a broken play. They get in behind the defense. Domi, wide open breakaway, makes no mistake. Buries it past Pascali, who had a good game. But after that, it was pretty much over. The Habs did what they had to do. Tampa did make a push when they pulled their goalie. It looked like they were going to score at least one, but thankfully they didn't. Price made the save when he had to, and the Habs cleared the zone. They couldn't get the empty netter, but it's not the end of the world. Huge performance, huge win over the Tampa Bay Lightning, the best team in the league after beating the Habs 3 times this year. One in a game when they won in the last 56 minutes, or the last 56 seconds, excuse me. Adam Ernie scored the game winner in the last 56 seconds earlier in the season. That's 2 points the Habs could have used right now, so they got it back tonight in a huge must-win game. Absolute redemption. So Columbus lost. That means Montreal and Columbus are tied. They both have 2 games. Columbus is facing New York and Ottawa. Montreal is facing Washington and Toronto. And I don't know if Carolina lost to Toronto, but I'm assuming they didn't unless Toronto scored 2 goals in the last 3 minutes and sent it into overtime. Hopefully I'll go check my scores and that's what happened. But I'm not betting on the way Toronto's playing. And I believe they have sparks in that. They're on a back-to-back too. But huge win for the Habs, guys. 4-2 over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let me know what you thought of the game. What was your favorite play of the game? Who do you think stuck out the most? Did you think Nate Thompson was the best player of the game? Do you think Yoel Armia was the best player of the game? Personally, my star of the game was Yoel Armia by a mile. He was absolutely great. Not only scoring on the goal, he almost scored on a wraparound right after it. He was good defensively. He was all over Tampa with the stick. Tampa was the more physical team, but it was more so at the end. So Habs pull out the win, 4-2. Huge win for the Habs, guys. Stay tuned for my next review of my next game against Washington. 2 more days. By April the 6th, we'll know whether or not Montreal's in the playoffs, and I'm praying they are. I'm really feeling it's going to come down to the Toronto games, guys. What do you think? Do you think Montreal's going to be out of it by the Toronto game? Do you think they're going to beat Washington? Or do you think it's going to come down to Toronto? And let's hope Columbus and Carolina, at least one of them, lose one of their next 2. The odds are one of them are going to lose one of their next 2. So if the Habs can rattle off 2 wins, guys, they're in. Go Habs, go, baby. Let's go. Woo!